Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Wowhead Weekly number 66. We have a lot to talk about today. Of course, there was a new Warcraft movie commercial, lots of new alpha information, as well as some merchandise updates that I know everyone here is very excited for. So without further ado, I would like to introduce my lovely co-host, Wowhead Site Manager Perculia.
Hey everyone, Pepe has his data mining hat on today because we had a build on Wednesday and we have lots of show notes covering the build and also merchandise stuff, which involves Pepe as well. So we should talk about the other exciting news, which is the movie stuff first, because yeah, that was a big deal and you love movie stuff.
I know. So. I'm like unreasonably excited for the movie. Like, okay, wait. So my theater has a display up already.
Oh, you need to take pictures. I want to put that on the site.
I will. I've already been super weird. Like, I went to my local GameStop and gave them my, like, name and phone number and, like, YouTube channel. I'm like, I really need all the display stuff that you get for Legion because I'm going to need that. Thanks. And so I have to go contact the manager of the movie theater, too, because I'm probably going to need a cardboard cutout of Travis Fimmel for science. For science. But there was actually a new trailer that aired during the NFL games. If you watched like the Broncos-Patriots game, I know it was on there. And it had a little bit more lore, a little bit of stuff we hadn't seen before. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for all of you guys right now, if that's okay with Perk?
Yeah, I am totally okay with it. Yeah.
It has begun. War is coming.
So why are you here?
To save our people.
We must fight together.
Can we trust him?
They're beasts. They should all be destroyed.
Are you sure about that? We'll protect the kingdom. You and I.
We will try, my friend.
Warcraft, rated PG-13. Rated 13. Rated...
Okay, so it starts skipping at the end there. I don't know, technology. But can I just say... my favorite parts of this, I loved how much we saw of Garona, because we've known Garona was going to be a big character, but we haven't really seen much of her, and I really like that we see her fighting, we see her kind of as this softer character. I'm very, very excited for Garona in the Warcraft movie. Thoughts?
Yeah. So Paula Patton always sounds very excited to talk about Garona at press conferences. Like, she's done so much research, and she's super excited. So I'm actually glad that I can finally get some more shots of Garona in action, because you can tell that she's put a lot of thought into the role.
Yeah, okay, so I was super excited about the Garona. How about Dalaran?
That is such the controversy. Like, why is Dalaran floating in the air now? But I like the waterfall. It was very cool. I want Dalaran in game to be like 3 floating islands. I think that looks very cool.
I'm okay with it floating in air. I know that, like, lore-wise, I guess it should still be in, like, the Altaric area, whatever, over there with where the big bubble is in WoW.
Yeah.
But like, I think the cinematography of it being flying in the air is much more interesting.
Yeah, and that shot how you just zoomed in, I'm like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I want the intro to Legion when I get to Dalaran to be the same thing, you know.
I know.
Right, going in.
Well, and this is all setting up very well because, I mean, of course, Legion is set to come out around the same time as the Warcraft movie. Like, they're going to be very close.
Yeah, I mean, summer 2016, you know, based on, like, the pacing we've seen so far, not a lot open on the beta. So I think they'll be around the same time.
Around the same time, right? And so, like, it makes a lot of sense having this huge spot of Dalaran when that's the main city in Legion. But not only that, but, like, I guess I'm not enough of a lore buff to know how groundbreaking and how terrible it is to have Dalaran in the sky, but maybe they'll at least mention it, like, why it's there and how it used to be somewhere else and what happened. Like, that might be part of this storyline.
I also feel that, like, newer players that weren't around when Dalaran was not, you know, like, before Wrath of the Lich King, they might be like, oh, this is Dalaran, it's in the air, just like it is in WoW.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, not everyone knows the whole background behind, you know, the islands. And, like, when we went to the press event at BlizzCon, they were saying that, you know, they had the story, and then they decided to improve on the story 20 years later. Maybe as part of that, they decided that Dalaran just had to be in the air for, you know, the flow of the story.
Well, we know that mage lore is going to have a huge part in the Warcraft movie. I know that, and I really want to release a video on this, but I don't know how to release a video without any visuals. But I toured the Warcraft movie set, and I got to interview a bunch of the cast members. I can give you the audio of that if you want it.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I actually got to, we interviewed everybody except Travis Fimmel was done filming. Paula Patton was done filming, and Rob Kaczynski was done filming. So, like, all the Horde were pretty much done.
Right.
But we got to interview... Oh, and of course now I can't remember his name, but the actor who plays Khadgar, young Khadgar, is a very prominent figure. We haven't seen him in any of the trailers, but I do know
they've been very, like, quiet about that, because I think at the press event they were interviewing him, and he's like, you know, like, Khadgar's in a tough place. Wait, did I say too much? Like, it was...
Yeah,
like,
and they didn't give us any, like, spoilery type information where I would be in trouble. I know my embargo's lifted. But I know that a lot of the story that has to do with Khadgar is, like, him learning how to be a mage and him learning how to be a good mage and, like, use his power responsibly and this, that, and the other thing. And he's, like, so powerful. And then he has, like, Medivh to look up to, who's, like, in this really weird, like, anti-hero, chaotic, neutral sort of situation. So I know the mage lore is gonna... Ben Foster plays Medivh, not Khadgar, to whomever just said that in the thing. The actor who plays Khadgar he's pretty unknown. I don't think we've seen him in many other things. But I'm really interested in the mage lore because I know that, like, we see Khadgar, we see Medivh, and we see Khadgar at a time in WoW that we don't really see him. Khadgar in WoW is an old man.
Yeah, he's, like, totally in charge of everything, giving you legendary quests and just, like, you know, just, like, sounding very sure-footed about everything.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting seeing him as kind of like he's sort of like reckless and young and like doesn't have control of his powers yet, and then like these people for him to look up to are kind of in weird places as well. So that's gonna be a really interesting part, and I think having Dalaran, like, I feel like we're gonna find out it's not just gonna be like, oh, Dalaran's in the air, deal with it. I feel like there's at least gonna be a mention of why it's there and how it got there and stuff like that. So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And
another area that I don't know about is that there's
lighting.
Like, that's the closing shot of the trailer. That? I thought that was Karazhan at first, but then someone's like, was it like Shaman? So I don't know what it is. It looked very cool.
Thank you so much for subscribing, Guac Guac. But I was like, well, the only thing I could think was that, like, it was so Thrall-like to me, but then, like, Thrall is a baby. He's a little infant baby. So, like, it can't be Thrall. So, like, who is it? What is it? What's going on? So
it didn't seem very magey because it's...
No, it's light. It's definitely shaman-y. So it's got to be, like... Isn't Durotan a shaman?
Yeah,
So it's got to be like a Durotan thing. I don't know. I'm super excited to find out what that lightning is, where it comes from, why. And obviously, they chose it as the ending shot for a reason. I mean, nothing that you see in, whether it's TV, movie, or even a trailer is on accident. Everything is placed there for a reason. So I'm really excited to see what the lightning was all about because I have no idea what that's all about. And I really, like, again, I know I already said this, but I'm really excited for the Garona feature of this because I think she's going to be such an interesting and dynamic character, and we've kind of gotten to know her a little better in-game with Garona being the legendary follower, so I am personally very, very excited about that. Then we
should talk about merch.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit last week, that the Weta Workshop was going to have all these prop replicas. They're really expensive, but they're also very high quality. You're getting, like, really heavy-duty, nice stuff. But what was exciting is that this week, Toys R Us actually came out with a whole line of toys for the Warcraft movie. And, okay, wait, for a second, did you notice there's no Garona toys?
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, that is not okay.
What is that all about?
We just went through this debate with Star Wars.
I, like, get the debate with Star Wars, though, because at least it was kind of like, okay, like, we know Rey's the main character, but we don't want to give away that she's a Jedi. Like, okay, second wave of merchandise has Rey. I can at least let that one pass. But Garona has been, like, the most, like, I feel like she's a very, very evidently a main character from...
Yeah.
Like,
and everyone already knows her story.
Where's Garona?
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is that they have a few toys available online, and people have tweeted pictures of other toys they got. So maybe she's not out yet.
I saw that the line, which is weird because there's multiple. Like I bought the Battle in a Box, which is $24.99, and then after tax it came to like $27, free shipping. It should be here for next week, so I can show it off. And that came
Blackhand, Lothar, the Griffin, and the Wolf.
Yeah, which I thought was really weird that it came with Blackhand and Lothar. Like, that seemed really odd to me. Like, why wasn't it Durotan? Like, we don't even see Blackhand in the trailers at all. And then there's also a larger figure of Blackhand as well. So I thought the merchandising choices were a little weird because I would have been focusing more on Lothar, Durotan, King Lane, and Garona. Those would have been...
Yeah, the more sympathetic features.
Yeah, those would have been the ones I would have thought. Because Blackhand's a bad dude. Like, he's not a good guy. Like, if you play WoW, you know he's not a good guy. So I thought that was really odd, and I was really upset to see no Garona in any of the figures. But I guess it's possible that like, I hadn't seen... the pictures I saw just
like, I
didn't
think
have
Duncan
her.
Jones tweeted a picture of, I think, Durotan, and that's not available online yet.
Yeah, but somebody, I feel like somebody has bought them. I think some Toys R Us already have those. They're just not available online.
Right.
But there's also, for $24.99, you can get a replica of Doomhammer. And I don't know how big it is, but are you going to buy that? Because if you don't, I probably will.
Yeah, no, I'll buy it, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, darn. Really taking one for the team there, Perk. Oh, your life's hard.
Enhancement Shaman artifact weapon.
So I'm pretty excited about those because they're a lot cheaper than the Weta Workshop ones, and it's within budget to collect them all. Even though I think it's kind of strange that the Battle in the Box ones are smaller than the bigger feet. Like, those figures are maybe like 3 inches, and then the big figures are like 5 inches. So it's sort of weird to have like, here's Lothar and big Lothar.
I've also gotten some packaging complaints, like not major ones, but people are saying that the box is split up, so half is Alliance and half is Horde, but then the way the characters are arranged, it doesn't line up.
Oh, that's annoying.
Names.
Yeah,
it's like
just...
Lothar and Blackhand is all evil looking, so.
Yeah, that's strange. That's strange, but I'm gonna get all of them probably at some point. But I'm excited about them, and I am excited that they did do kind of like a budget line because the Weta Workshop things start at like $250.
Yeah, plus if you have kids, you can introduce them to it and
start them off young. Looking at you,
I wonder if we'll see them on
the
gears. Exactly. No, his son needs a Pepe because I think Muffinus was the person who put the Pepe costumes in the game. So I'm like, we need a Pepe.
Cute. So cute. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like my Spartan helmet Pepe is kind of superior to your data mining Pepe.
Pepe is angry.
Yeah, well, my Pepe will fight your Pepe. So I love these little Pepes. They're so cute. Mine finally just came off of the Christmas tree. I finally took my Christmas tree down. So I've only had him back in my office for like maybe 2 weeks. But anyways, that's all the new stuff that we found out about the Warcraft movie. We got the new trailer, lots of new stuff in the trailer, which was exciting. Then there's the Weta Workshop stuff and the new budget line at Toys R Us if you are interested. And that concludes Warcraft movie stuff for today. Moving on to Legion Alpha. And you're going to be pleased with me, Perk, because I actually did do a slideshow of all of the new artifact weapons, which I didn't do last time, and you were so upset with me. So I did that. So if you want to talk about them, they will be rolling.
Sure. All right. So last patch, we talked about how we data mined a bunch of artifact weapon models that were called 06, which implies that there's this mysterious 6th style of artifact weapons which are not in the usual calculator and data we'll be seeing at launch. And we have models for 13 more weapons, so it looks like the ones we got last build were not a fluke, and, you know, more than half the weapons right now have 6 styles. So one I really like is the Celestial Philomalorn, and it has the Celestial Offhand. It's very Algalon Ulduar.
Yeah.
Another one is
the Resto Druid one is the best.
Yeah, it has an owl. That is also very cool. I love how the Discipline Priest one, Light's Wrath, has pink wings. And I'm not sure if we saw it yet, but the Demonology art... Yeah. It's a screaming severed Eridar head. The animations are amazing. It just sort of flails around, and I made an animated image on Twitter, and people were pairing it to dance music recommendations, and it's pretty special.
That's amazing. Oh, I saw you tweeting that. That was really good. But yeah, these are awesome, and that's obviously a shaman one. But I still stand by. I hope that there is a vanity available in the store. And I know a lot of people were confused by me saying this because in the past I've been like, oh, that's too easy to obtain kind of thing. I don't care if things are easy to obtain as long as they don't. Number one, as long as there's not an identical version that you get through gameplay, and as long as it doesn't affect gameplay. Like, I'm very pro the transmog helmets and, like, mounts and pets being in the store, so I do hope that there is a way that people can get another version of their artifact that wouldn't necessarily include a lot of grinding. Plus, I really want that owl one for my Resto Druid. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm so torn. if I want to be a shaman or a druid next expansion. Have you figured out if you're going to be a rogue or a or a demon hunter?
I don't know, just because the Demon Hunter starting experience felt very, like... It felt like too heroic and not in-depth enough for the lore. So I'm not sure like what I'd feel more comfortable with, like what would be more exciting to play, and I like making little stories when I play, so
yeah,
need to see if it makes sense for her to, you know, fit in.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've been playing a Resto Druid on the beta, and like there are no cons. They're so good. Like, they're great healers, and then with the whole affinity talents, you're just basically a boomkin, so you can solo all of your content without having to worry about changing weapons or changing specs. It's amazing, and now they have an owl weapon, and I'm just so sold. Plus, I like the Resto Druid artifact better than the Resto Shaman artifact by, like, a mile.
Oh yeah, we need to preview the Resto Shaman artifact. The only thing I know is that there's an Adele reference in it, but there'll probably be a video soon on that. So.
Did you say there's an Adele reference?
Yeah.
Done. I'm not playing a shaman. I hate Adele.
Oh no.
It's so weird. Adele, you can't call someone 1,000 times. That's too many times, Adele. Promotes weird, stocky behavior. Moving on. We also got previews for the Mage Tier 19. I didn't have I don't have a video for this because I have a video for a lot of other things. But there are 3 mythic colors, which is weird. There's normally only 2.
Yeah, so there's one that's sort of purple with green glows, which I think is arcane, but the green is more foul, not arcane. And then there's a red fiery set, and then a blue frost set, as well as the 4 colors for, you know, normal, heroic, and alliance and horde. And we don't have a video of it soon, but the video will be up soon because Blizzard changed some stuff with helms displaying on the alpha. But yeah, I know the normal set, I think people, as usual, were saying it's a little underwhelming, but... I think that the Mythic set having 3 colors, I think that's interesting. I'm curious
how will that work?
If you can get all 3 or if one's going to be unused. And remember, like, it followed when we previewed the Shaman set, how the Shaman Mythic, the 2 colors had different details to represent the different elements associated with the colors. So maybe, like, this is meant to represent each spec? I don't know. But I think it would be cool if it did.
My camera might be dying right now again.
It is.
Just,
yeah.
Oh.
It's died.
I'll just, here's the unicorn mount. Just kidding. Here's the unicorn mount. And we'll talk about that while I go unplug and replug in my camera or something. I don't know.
So
Unicorn's
this,
awesome, though, right?
Yeah, so this mount is called, well, it's not a mount, but it's a creature called Horse 2 in the data. And we're calling it a unicorn because it has a horn and it looks awesome. And there are versions that are dark and light, and we have a video up of it because I know some people sometimes complain about creature animations, but this one has better improved animations. So, you know, definitely check that out. We have videos of tons of creatures up from the latest build. Even we don't have a video of this one, but it's Grand Magistrix Elisande in shadow form, and her body's like black with these blue accents on it, and she's got this awesome Nightborn armor and purple glowy effects. So she is pretty cool. And if you're back, you can show the mount that I think is not very cool.
I don't think the spider mount is cool either, if I'm being honest. I don't know what's going on. For the record, XSplit has been asking me to update it for 2 weeks, and I'm always afraid to update anything because a lot of times it breaks it. But I think that's why my camera keeps cutting out. I think it's a bug because I don't have the latest version of the software. I'll fix it. I'm sorry. I didn't do a spoiler tag. Oh my god. I just remembered. I'm the worst. Look at the spider mount. Ew, it's so ugly.
Ew.
Why does it have a butthole?
No, I didn't even realize that.
Look at its prominent butthole. Like, when you're riding on that mount, you're going to be staring straight into a spider's anus.
Ew.
I know. I can't stop staring at it. Like, it's yuck. Yuck.
We have an animated video of that too, if you want to see it in action.
People are really excited about it. Like, this was one of the things I saw people flipping out about. Like, oh my god, spider mount. I'm so excited. And I do like the saddle. The saddle's cool. Do I think what?
Do you think it's a Hollow Zen thing? Because, I mean, we randomly got that Winter Veil armor set last build, and, you know, holidays months in advance. Why not?
I don't think so. I think that this is going to have something to do with Sylvanas lore. I feel like, to me, that little saddle looks very undeadish, and I don't know. It doesn't say Wintervale, or it doesn't say Hollow's End to me, but it could be.
Yeah, I was just thinking how in the garrison you kill that spider bear, and one of the toys was the bag of spiders.
Yeah.
But There could be lots of things.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely...
I'm creeped out looking at it, though.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I'm going to flip it over to you to talk a little bit about the new Rogue class Order Hall. I'm going to let you talk about the Order Halls in general, because I haven't been on the alpha since it's up. So, Perk, take it away.
All right, so a lot of people were upset that the Rogue Order Hall was both in the sewers, and it also seemed a bit unfinished, even though it was the alpha. And in this past build, they added a lot of stuff to it, and it feels a lot homier. And one of the biggest updates is that there's no more sewer-grade entrance. You enter via these secret passageways in the wine shop or the general goods store. You talk to an NPC, and then he sort of like nudges you towards an opening, and then like a bookshelf opens up.
That's
and
cool.
Then, yeah, and like the passageway, it's pretty long. It's not like, oh look, you're at the hall. So that part is pretty neat, and they added a lot more NPCs, so it doesn't feel as empty. Like there's this one area where the Stormwind and Undercity class trainers are having a duel, like a practice duel, and a lot of the class trainers are just sitting around on the sidelines, and Lornica Stillblade, who is the Shatrith NPC that has funny comments about rogues like using evasion and dying, and like forgetting to use blind, and how Vanish is awesome. She's there as well. So they just added a lot more NPCs. Some of the cool things is that the Elling Trius, he sells cheese and Stormwind, and maybe has his spy business on the side based on references and quests.
Maybe
he is selling cheese, and it's cool because in the room there's these little like crumbs of cheese in the corners and like a little forgotten hunk of Swiss cheese on the ground. So I like that detail, even though apparently the Order Hall is not. The floors apparently has old food on it. The vault area used to sort of be these uninspired looking old piles of gold, but they added a lot more bling to the area, so the gold is interesting, and there's gems in the gold, and they added these Bob Ross paintings, and they ugly Mogu statues.
Of course they added Bob Ross paintings.
So they added a bunch of cool stuff to make it actually feel like a vault that had useful stuff there. And the bar area now sells drinks. That was very weird. Before that, the bar did not have food on the tables, and there was nothing you could buy for alcohol. And some more NPCs that are important is, so in the Rogue Order Hall, there's this, like, secret area where Garona is residing with other, secret top rogue NPCs. And they moved it around, and in addition to Garona and, like, Valera from Hearthstone, they have Tess Greymane, who is Gen Greymane's daughter, as well as Jorah Ravenholt from Ravenholt Manor there, which I think is really neat because, Worgen Lords, you don't really hear a lot about other members of Gen's family, and a lot of people really wanted the Rogue Order Hall to be Ravenholt, so it's nice that they're trying to actually show why those NPCs would be in the Rogue class hall. And there's also Boss Mita there, who, if you play Horde, she's the goblin NPC that, she's the one that's really in charge of leading the goblins instead of, being off in the palace. So she's there walking around, checking out the goods. And this is the best part. There's like the tunnel out of Dalaran and the sewers, like you could go fly out of the tunnel. So the tunnel is now renamed to the Tunnel of Woe, and then there's a plank leading out of it. And that is just, I don't know. I really like that, especially because you can't fly in Legion right now. So it's like you are walking out of the tunnel, and you can't fly out, like, you have to walk out over the plank. So I don't know. I like that part the best. And then other class hall updates, they weren't as big, but people noticed a few things, like apparently Rhaegar is in the Shaman Order Hall, the Warrior Order Hall actually has NPCs present, and this one, which I think you find the most interesting, the Double Agent he was a character that leveled a shaman who leveled on the Wandering Isle exclusively through, like, pet battles and gathering. He didn't want to kill anything.
He didn't want to pick a faction. That's what it was.
Right, he didn't want to pick a faction, so he just stayed neutral on the Wandering Isle, which is where all Pandaren go until they're, like, level 12. So they added a shaman to the Monk Order Hall who just runs around mining nodes and runs around in ghost wolf form. And they didn't call it double agent directly, but they called him the Venerable Shaman, and Venerable is a religious title, which makes sense with the monk lore.
Yeah,
so
it
he's stuck
definitely
with the
does.
monk order hall because he never, picked a faction.
Yeah, and okay, so I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with my camera. I can't deal with this right now. I'm so sorry. Like, I do not, it's just doing whatever it feels like. But I thought this was really interesting that instead of naming him Double Agent, they actually chose to call him the Venerable Shaman, because like you said, that is a title that's a religious title that's often referred, like, used to talk about monks. So the fact that they kind of called him like a monk shaman because he's in like the monk order hall and he's like this pacifist. I thought that was like a really interesting little feature that they did, and he's in all the same armor, and what a grind. Like, the poor dude deserves some recognition, because that's a crazy amount of work. Like, once you hit level 12, any quest is going to be completely obsolete and you're not going to be able to get any experience from it. So literally he leveled 12 to 100 just by picking herbs, mining nodes, pet battles, and like maybe fishing.
Yeah, maybe.
Insane.
XP?
Insane. So really cute. I'm glad that they added him in. And it does make sense that he would be at the Monk Order Hall because that's in the Wandering Isle. And then you put another note in here about the Malorn lore in Val'sharah.
Yeah, I can explain that a little.
Sure.
So in Val'sharah, which we've previewed, and you also have the zone preview up, there is this area, the Shrine of Malorn, that opens up when you previously killed a demon and then like the shrine was cleansed. And it seems like they're trying to make that more dramatic, because now on the alpha the area is sort of infested with all of these demons, and I think it's bugged because I can't cleanse it, but it looks really cool once it's cleansed. And over to the side there are a bunch of the Druid of the Antler followers who, they're all disciples of Malorn, and when you talk to them they have like 6 different dialogue options talking about different like folklore about him, or like the War of the Ancients, or like why he fell in love with a loon. So all sorts of different things. And it just, I don't know, I just find that really cool. Like, it's not really tied to any of the questing in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a bunch of characters that are sort of huddled together with this cool looking unique armor, and you just talk to them and they have all these different stories, talking about it. Like, one's talking about how Malorn fell in love with the loon. Another one is talking about how he escaped the Tauren and then he found her and she saved him. Someone else is talking about, like sacrifices he made. Like, all the stories are slightly different, so it's cool how they all fit together that way.
Absolutely.
And apparently one, like, it looks like a druid, but it has horns and a blindfold, so I'm like, oh, is this, someone that's, like, skilled at fighting demons, but, because Night Elf culture, like, they still believe in Malorn too, like, or is this just a mistake? But I like thinking maybe it's some interesting, interesting part of the lore that characters that did train in, some demon hunting could still, like, they still valued some cultural things. So
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Hopefully she'll remain that way and not.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's not a bug.
Yeah, and then there's also 2 new dungeons open on the alpha. There's the Violet Hold and Neltharian's Lair.
Yeah, I know people aren't really thrilled with Violet Hold because it's like, oh, look, it is a room and bosses come out and it takes forever. But
wait, what? People don't like Violet Hold?
Yeah, people
I
are like,
loved Violet
Hold.
Hold.
They're like, oh, like this would be a better like area for proving grounds, which kind of makes sense.
Like, yeah, if you didn't play Wrath and you don't care about nostalgia or good memories at all, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I actually haven't run it, but maybe it is buggy. But what I liked about it is that it wasn't just, it's not like, oh, look, they brought back Violet Hold. They actually redid it. So, like, the skylight is all boarded up, so it looks a lot darker, and it just feels a lot more menacing.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciated that. And as we mentioned before, they have new bosses, and I think the best part of this is Millhouse Manastorm's wife is there, and apparently she is a lot smarter and more competent than him. It's an engineering genius of undeniable prowess. Maleficent Manastorm seems to be the complete opposite of her husband Millhouse. Smart and resourceful, she is a force to be reckoned with.
That's fantastic.
So, Blizzard is having fun with the NPCs, like Blood Queen Lonathel's daughter is there. One of Professor Putricide's experiments is there. Like, let's see. Oh yeah, like an ancient Nerubian crypt lord is another one, which is a reference to Tier 9 and Trial of the Crusader.
Yep, Fester
So,
face.
yep. So that is that's Violet Hold, and we have images of that up. Not really a lot to do a zone video of. And the next dungeon we didn't really get to cover in super great detail yet. It's Neltharion's lair, and the description is Neltharion, better known as Deathwing, once called these caves home. Since his fall, the Drogbar that once worshipped the great dragon built their capital within this ancient lair. Now, Dargrul, chieftain of the Drogbar, rallies a massive army within these depths if left unchecked. The Mad King's army will surge from the mountainside, devastating High Mountain and all of Azeroth with it. So, yeah, if you've quested or have paid attention to our High Mountain coverage, this zone makes a lot more sense in the context of, Deathwing does play a role there, and it's very, there's a lot of Tauren culture there. The threats between the Tauren tribes and the Drogbar that own the mountains. So, yeah, I am curious to see what it looks like if it's very, Blackwing Lair dragon-y throwback, or if there's High Mountain.
I'll be kind of disappointed if it's not dragon-y. I'm going to try plugging this into a different USB port, so you talk about the artifact, and if it's silent over here, don't be concerned.
All right, so in addition to what we've been doing with all the model videos, we've also been doing videos of the artifact quest lines. We've been trying to highlight the ones that are new for each build, and then if there's, a slow news day, we'll go back and we'll feature some of the ones from past builds. So we actually just put the Arms Warrior one up, but we haven't summarized it yet. So I'll talk about some of the ones that were added in the last build. And starting with Doomhammer. Oh, would this be good to have a spoiler tag? Oh, well.
I'm sorry,
anyway,
I will...
Spoilers.
I will do the spoilers. I swear to God, I'm so sorry. I'm putting a post-it note on my, monitor right now.
Alright, so with the Enhancement Shaman questline, the big question is, how do you get Doomhammer from Thrall? That's his weapon. It's iconic. And basically what happens is, in the introductory questline for all Shaman to select an artifact weapon, you aid the Earthen Ring and Thrall and you fight off demons, and if you choose the Enhancement Shaman option, your task is to retrieve the Doomhammer, which has fallen into the maelstrom during all the chaos of fighting the demons. And you have to go find Doomhammer. Thrall is there, but he's been seriously wounded, so he can't really fight, but he's just sort of following you. And you follow the Fellblood trail of one of the demons you fought before. The demon's name is Gethdun. And when you finally confront him, he's trying to grab the Doomhammer, but the Doomhammer keeps putting, rocks around itself as protection. But because you're awesome and special, you're able to pick it up and wield it, and then you use that weapon to defeat the demon. And now this is what Thrall says when he sees all of this taking place. So, Thrall says, the Doomhammer chose you, Shaman. Already you wield it with a power I've never tapped into. I must go my own way. I have a lot of thinking to do. Agra will be at the Maelstrom shortly. Listen to her counsel, she has taught me much. Go back to the Earthen Ring. Bring them together. Turn their might against the Legion. This is your time.
I hate this. I hate that we're you're stronger than Thrall. Boo-hoo.
Yeah, and this next part is even weirder, because the NPC you turn the quest into says, the orcs had a prophecy about the Doomhammer. It was said that a stranger will raise the hammer high, and with it justice shall reign. Maybe you were meant to be that stranger all along. And as Alliance, I'm just was this prophecy, made up specifically for Legion? Did you know about this? Is this...
yeah.
Is this a thing? It was not very... the seriousness of this was not really, impacted to me. I just was okay, well, I've never played a Shaman before, and I have Doomhammer. Thrall is impressed with my mad, flailing skills.
I hate it. I'm putting it here, and I'm going to put up a picture. I'm talking. I just want to be able to put it on both. But I don't know. I find the whole thing super upsetting, that it feels like a cop-out. I don't really have another word to use. It just really feels like that's the best.
It feels like it needs to be a lot longer. I don't know. I feel it would be cool if, I don't know, if you could see Thrall doing something with it, and then, I don't know why it's noisy outside all of a sudden.
It's okay.
It would be cool if, a lot of people who are playing a shaman are going to be not very good at playing a shaman because it's the first time they picked it up and they're just excited about, Doomhammer, yay.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So it's like, to have Thrall going on about how amazing you are doesn't really
make any
like,
sense.
I don't. Yeah. So like maybe if there was some little cutscene where like you and Thrall are doing stuff and you execute some sick move that I don't know, just something to actually show why your character deserves to wield the weapon, even if you are clueless on an alt, would be cool.
It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, Thrall has been so powerful in all of the lore of World of Warcraft, and now all of a sudden it's just like, oh, shaman, I'm
And then it's like, where does he go?
Like where is he
meditate?
going? Like, is he going to, like, eat Ben and Jerry's in the corner? Because that's what it sounds like. With his hands, because he has no tools, because he gave them to every noob shaman that walked up and could pick up. Dude, it's so weird. It's so, and I still, like, I do not, like, my vision of Thrall is not an elemental shaman. Like, it's not, like, I wouldn't, or an enhancement shaman. I would have thought of him as being more elemental. He wears a robe. He's always so, like, spiritual about things. We've seen him, like, cast spells, like, fireball and, like, lava things, and I think this all just comes down to me being salty about having to use a fist weapon. Like, I'm going to change classes over this.
Yeah, and it's also, I don't actually remember running into Agra once I was back at the class hall. Like, she was not the person
gone.
I turned it into. So, like, he's telling me to listen to her, and I'm like, okay, where are you? Want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Like, I feel like I would probably be much more willing to pass this lore over if elemental shamans or resto shamans got Doomhammer, but it makes no sense to me that they gave a fist weapon to a casting class and a mace to a melee class.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about the Resto Shaman one? Did you make a Resto Shaman yet?
Yeah.
Because I have, like, mega detailed notes on this.
I didn't do... No, Resto Shamans were... Wait, yes, I did. No, I ended up making a Resto Druid. I was going to make a Resto Shaman.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Resto Druid, the Dream Grove. Okay.
So, awesome. Number one, it was a great quest. Like, I thought it was interesting, and I liked when you go and I like how the whole quest has to do with healing things and cleansing things and helping your allies in that way. And I love that, I'm pretty sure Resto Druids are the only class that when you get your artifact weapon, you get it first, and it's epic, not legendary.
Yeah, I think that's unique as well.
So you get...
I think that's a cool touch.
Yeah, so you get this epic weapon, but it's corrupted. And so after you have to go down into this little cave, and you have to sneak past all these corruption things, and you don't fight anything, which I thought that was really interesting. The whole idea is to sneak past them. You get your weapon, it's corrupted, and then the rest of the quest has to do with cleansing the corruption of this legendary weapon. So you and a bunch of other different types of druids, there's literally a moonkin and a bear druid, and it's really cute how they, like, incorporate all of that. And your weapon is, like, held up above this fountain, and while you're fighting off this boss, it's being cleansed, and then you end up being able to kill the boss because you've cleansed the weapon, and it's helped your whole party out. But I thought it was a really good quest, and I know this is not really relevant, but I absolutely love the Druid class order hall, and when you go to upgrade your artifact weapon, it's like this little sapling, and you, like, click on the sapling, and your weapon, like, sits up. It, like, the sapling grows into, like, a little tree, and your weapon sits up on top of it.
I think that's super cute. I love that.
It's way better than the shaman one.
I also like how there are so many NPCs involved that you've known previously.
Yeah.
Like, my Luna's there, and usually she's super happy. Like, she wants you to save all the animals. She has probably my Luna call with the flowers. But, she's really upset, and she tells you to go, try to save the artifact. And then you meet Naralex, who was the druid from Wailing Caverns who is held captive in the Nightmare. So that's neat how now that he's freed, he's still, fighting the Emerald Nightmare. Yeah. And, there's you go to Hyjal, and Skylord Omnuron is there, and he's the one that gives you the Skyreach quests from your garrison, and then Archdruid Hamel Rune Totem is there. So just like a lot of big name NPCs, and the
Oh,
best
you
part
get
is
an
that
awesome title when you finish your artifact
Yeah.
quest too. You get Arch Druid.
I know, that is very
Well,
cool.
you're supposed to. I didn't actually get it; it was bugged, but still, the thought is what matters. But it was a cool quest line. It's funny though because I encountered a couple bugs with it, like the area where because one of the Druid class order hall perks is that you can port to different like natural areas. And the ports were kind of broken. So, like, when you're following my loon to the portal, she just runs through a tree and disappears. But the portal is, like, 20 feet over. So, like, that took me a minute to figure out. And then I ended up, when you finish the quest, you can either dream walk back to your class order hall or you could take the portal. But the portal back to the order hall is broken, so you just infinitely fall. And I actually had to make a new Resto Druid because I waited all day, and I just would log in and fall to my death, and log in and fall to my death. But you didn't actually die, you just got disconnected. So, just alpha things.
So this next one is the Discipline Priest weapon, and this was a novel to transcribe. Like, it was a 40-minute quest.
Oh my god.
And the lore was all over the place because it has the Scarlet Crusade, Ethereals, Azura Ghosts, the Nexus, and the Kirin Tor. So I was just like, what is going on here with everything? So yeah, let's see if we can make sense of this with this massive wall of text I transcribed. Let's see if we can. Let's
I didn't do the Discipline Priest one, so I can't even help.
You can react. You can be like, "Whoa! How did they
will.
mix Ethereals with Azura Ghosts?"
I will.
The first part, which all the priests do, is which you probably have seen with Shadow Priest previews, is that you go to Tirisfal Glades to select your weapon, and Alonzus Fael, who was the former leader of the Holy Order of Northstrider Clerics, is revealed to have been, first he was a human, and then he was raised as a member of the undead, and now he's taking a more public role in trying to fight the Legion. And Kalia Menethil is also there as well. So, yeah, pretty big lore reveals that, heroes that were kind of missing have, now shown up again.
Yeah.
And when you select Light's Wrath, the following description is given, which is, obsessed with cleansing undead from Azeroth, the fanatical Scarlet Crusade tried to create a second Ashbringer in the form of a staff. However, due to treachery from within, the ritual failed in a fiery explosion. The damaged staff's power proved nearly uncontrollable, and fearing its destructive power, the elite magi of the Kirin Tor hid it away from the hands of men. So that's already a lot of, we've already gone from like Scarlet Crusade to Ashbringer lore to Kirin Tor, and we haven't even done a quest yet.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and you never really hear the Scarlet Crusade again, which I know the quest is super long, but I think that it would be interesting to actually integrate them more. So you go to Dalaran, and Kalagos tells you that the Kirin Tor entrusted the Blue Dragonflight to keep it safe, and they put it in the Nexus Vault. But because the Blue Dragonflight was dissolved, the Nexus was abandoned. So this is now a problem because you have a super powerful weapon in an area that no one is taking care of.
Yeah.
So you go there, and unfortunately you learn that the Ethereals are trying to harness the power of the weapon to become these evil, very powerful void beings. And you also learn that Azura Ghost was trying to take care and rescue the weapon, but he was being held captive by the Ethereals. So eventually you end up going into the Nexus after you do a few more quests, like showing why this weapon is powerful, how like it can absorb energy, but then has these erratic explosions. And Azura Ghost is really fun to interact with. He says really funny things like, so the lock on the Nexus is broken, and by a common human no less. Will wonders never cease? If you've come to engage in battle in hopes to obtain some spurious trinket, I'm afraid you're too late. If it's looting you desire, as your kind so often do, then I would take the fight to them. So he's like, oh, you must be going to the Nexus, to kill bosses, and I don't have any loot. Like, go kill these other people. So I like his sense of humor.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So after he realizes that you're here to help them, you are here to rescue him, you rescue him, and for the first time you actually see him in human form, which is kind of neat. He's a mage in tier 4 and has got blue hair. The the two of you were trying to race through the vault and find Slight Wrath because you can tell that the weapon is growing more unstable, and you don't want the weapon to just blow up and destroy everything.
That'd be bad.
Yep. So you do a bunch of stuff. You use your priest talents. Like at one point, there's fire on the ground, so you levitate to go over it, for example. You also do a bunch of creative things because Discipline Priest is meant to be a mix of, healing and shadow and how you deal with these opposing chaotic forces. And you finally find the Ethereals, and they're trying to use Light's Wrath to turn into a pure void form. And you basically, that doesn't happen because you and Azuragos fight the Ethereals together. And when you defeat the Ethereals, you have to go fight Light's Wrath directly. Which is kind of cool, like you have to subdue the weapon before you can loot it.
Yeah.
So, you finally, after all that, going through the Nexus, you loot Light's Wrath, and Azuragos is pretty impressed, and he will remain behind.
He's pretty impressed. It's all right. You did okay.
He actually said that. He says,
Good
must
job,
have done
priest.
something. You must have done something because the energies from the vault seem to be stabilizing. Now, hurry back before this portal closes and locks you in the vault. I am impressed. Never have I seen a priest capable of controlling Light's Wrath. And, yeah, so it ends with, you've got this cool-looking weapon, and that's a big oversight that no one was, guarding over the Nexus. We'll put a blue dragonflight in charge of it and then just not deal with it when the dragonflight dissolves. But anyway, he's watching over the Nexus now. So, yep, and that is the Discipline Priest artifact questline.
It sounds like a lot. It sounds so much more lengthy and complicated than other quest lines, but honestly, the first time I did the Druid quest, it took me a little while because there's when you're doing the Resto Druid quest, the first part you take this drugs, I guess, and then you go to sleep. Okay, so you take Druid drugs, then you go to sleep, and then you're dream walking around, and you cannot touch anything or else you'll go insane. And it's actually really difficult because there's a lot of stuff on the ground, and the slower you go, the more stuff there is, but the faster you go, the more likely you are to do something. So I failed it 5 times. I'm not even kidding. I failed it so many times. And the way I ended up getting it finally was that I died, and when it brought me back to my body, it reset my chaos meter, whatever may have you, and I was able to cheese the rest of the quest, which was funny because then on the second time I made a new Resto Druid, I got it on the first shot without cheating. Nice. But I felt like it was actually a little more complicated than some of the other ones were. But nothing like the Discipline Priest.
Yeah. So we have a few more videos going up. We have some of the older ones Ret Paladin, Guardian Druid, Arms Warrior, and we're going to be getting other ones up pretty shortly. And probably have a preview of Arms Warrior up later today, actually. So
nice.
Yeah, we when I do the post, I like having the video of the questline, but I like actually digging up the quest so you can look stuff up in the database as well, and then also highlighting the models of all the weapons again. All 2010.
Okay, so far things are happening. My webcam died. Then Perk's internet died. Oh, well. What were you saying before you were so rudely interrupted by the technologies?
Oh, just that we've been trying to feature ones each day covering the artifacts, and we try to write up a summary of links to the quest in Wowhead's Legion database, as well as summaries of any cool text we think is interesting in case watching videos isn't really your thing, or you want to, take a closer look at what's said.
In case watching videos isn't your thing. Gosh.
And then we also try to highlight all of the weapon models as well, so, you can see, the gameplay aspect, but then also the pretty appearance aspect. And we have, quite a few more on our YouTube, which I haven't gotten around to summarizing yet, but the videos are done, so check that out.
Yeah, definitely check that out. I feel in the past couple months, particularly Wowhead's YouTube channel has been very, very active. I'm not saying that because it's me. It's really not me. This is all coincidental. The guy who does all of the model viewer stuff for Wowhead is, I'm convinced he is on a Perk sleep schedule and that he doesn't.
That's kind of accurate.
Yeah, okay, good. I got it. So he's super awesome, and he's made a ton of videos for the Wowhead YouTube channel. So if you ever want to see, pretty much any of the artifact quest lines, any of the class halls, any of the models, weapons, artifact weapons, tier sets, new mounts, pets. They're there. They're there. And then I try to take them off of the YouTube channel and upload the exciting ones to Facebook. And then take all the credit. Ha 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 ha. Moving on to live server stuff. Cataclysm Time Walking is live now through February 1st. Remember, you will get 500 Valor for completing this, along with an Iron Fleet treasure chest, which will give you a piece of normal gear from Hellfire Citadel, and then you'll also get a bonus reroll token. So this is definitely worth doing if you're a raider because of the bonus token as well as the Valor. And if you're not a raider, it's worth doing because of the free piece of raid gear. So all around, good thing to do. Cataclysm Time Walking is one of the more fun ones, and there's a lot of mounts you can get as well, which I think adds a lot of good
there
stuff
are
to the
3
pot.
you can work on, because there's one, actually 4.
Yeah.
Because you can do Glory of the Cataclysm Hero to get the Volcanic Stone Drake.
Yep.
Slabhide from Stonecore for the Vitreous Stone Drake. Alterius from Vortex from Reigns of the Drake of the North Wind. Yep. And then from any boss, any of them can drop the Infinite Time Reaver, which is personal loot.
Well, and then technically you could also be saving up badges for the 2 mounts.
Yeah.
So altogether, that's 6. I mean, definitely worth the time spent. I do it for Valor. I may or may not have had a non-upgraded trinket in raid last night. Don't hate me, guys. So that's what's going on for the bonus. What's next week's? Do you know? I didn't even look because I was doing all the stuff for Lunar Fest.
We can talk about Cataclysm toys though, because there's 2 toys. There's the Gerboggle's Gleaming Bauble for 1500, which turns you into a Gleben for 10 minutes, and that's like a goblin with fins. And it makes you swim faster in Vashir, which is funny because no one really goes to Vashir, but it's just a fun throwback because it was an experimental underwater zone. If you ever want to get bored and want to quest in an area, check it out. It's actually kind of accurate, apparently. I think Ghostcrawler said that the oceanography made sense there, so...
I actually, I feel like I hold a very odd opinion of Vashir, because I thought it was really fun. My issue with it was that I was questing in it while a lot of other people were questing in it, which adds this, urgency to all of it, so the novelty wore off quickly, but when I went back and was leveling alts, I appreciated Vashir a lot, because it had... just everything was so much different than other quest lines, because you're fighting things that are, in the air, kind of, but they're underwater, and they're swimming around you, and... I don't know. I thought it was cool. Moving on.
There's also the Tossle Wrench Mega Accurate Simulation Viewfinder for 3,000 badges, and it replicates Deathwing raining down fire from the sky like he did in Cataclysm, and Tossle Wrench refers to a gnome in the Badlands who retells a really fantastical version of the Cataclysm in the Day the Deathwing Came quest series. So if you're looking again for something to do, that quest series is really funny because all the characters there tell these wild stories and trying to make light of a really horrible event in Azeroth, and just lots of humor.
Sounds
there,
like real life.
Yeah.
And then this is why I hadn't paid too much attention to what was going on this week or next week, because Lunar Fest starts on February 1st. Lunar Fest starts on February 1st, and Wowhead is making, well, of course, Wowhead already has a text guide for it, but we're also making a video guide for this, like we did for Winter Veil and, what was the other one we did? Hollow's End. And those went over really well. People really seem to like them, so I'm doing one for Lunar Veil this year as well. So tons of stuff, although nothing super new. The only new thing this year is that you can get heirloom upgrades, which I feel like it's a lot of work for what you can buy, because the heirloom upgrades I want to say cost 40 and 75.
Yeah,
so I mean
for the armor.
Yeah, they're expensive, and then the weapon ones are more expensive than that. So I feel like since you can only get 84 coins per year per character, that seems like a lot of work. But if you're hard up for cash, that's definitely something to look into. Of course, the Lunar Festival circles mostly around honoring elders, which means that you're going and talking to NPCs around Azeroth, and they'll reward you with coins of ancestry, as well as you'll get a little envelope that could have a moonstone in it or something else, and you'll also
fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks. You'll also get gold and experience and reputation too. So this is a great activity for alts, or if you're trying to get maybe the beloved title, and those are reps that you don't have yet, it gives you main city reps. you can spend the coins that you get for pets, mounts, festive attire, crafting recipes for tailoring or engineering. The toys are Elun's Lantern, which is actually from a quest, and this is kind of a cool toy. I feel like it's underrated, but what it does is it turns rough stones into moonstones, and moonstones are an unused item that summon a little circle of light in a target location, which is both fun and could be useful if you need it for like raid markers or something like that. Right. So that's kind of a cool toy. And then you can also get the Everlasting Alliance or Everlasting Horde fireworks for 25 coins each. But what's cool about that is that you actually get the other one automatically. It's just that it's faction specific. So if you buy the Horde one and you get an Alliance character, it is an Alliance one, which is neat. They count as 2 separate toys towards your total, though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the toy stuff was new to last year. So, like, if you were busy, like, you know, raiding at the start of the expansion, maybe you haven't picked up those toys, and you can do that.
I didn't. I did not. There's also a couple pets you can get. They're 50 coins each, which are the Festival and Lunar Lanterns. Those are faction-specific, but they can be purchased on the auction house because they're cageable. And then you can also get the Perky Blaster for your pug. I think that's 1 coin of Ancestry, and you get 5 charges of it. I find myself in recent times thinking that the things for the Perky Pug are really cute. I think
Pepe needs some Perky Pug things. I think they're cute. Too. I just think that like the love needs to be spread around.
Yeah, I kind of just wish it was on a different pet. I just don't like pugs. They're like poor little faces. They look so smushed. You can also get the festive attire, which is like white RP gear. It can't be transmogged, but it's really cool. It's kind of like Chinese inspired, like kimonos and pantsuits and stuff like that, and those are 5 coins each. And if you complete all of the achievements for the Honor Your Elders, you'll get the Elder title, and that will count towards Oh What a Long Strange Trip It's Been.
Yep.
And then
so
we
also... You want to talk about the Jinx promo?
Yeah,
I guess merchandise now.
Yeah, transition. I'm not. You can't see me on screen, but I'm doing jazz hands. I promise. Of course, as usual, we do have a promotion going on with Jinx.com. You can get 30% off of any Warcraft t-shirt, Blizzard t-shirt, Warcraft t-shirt.
And you were saying that some like hoodies counted as t-shirts, so awesome.
Yeah,
Yay.
So you can get 30% off. That is code Wowhead. And then we also have a new code with the Blizzard store. This is a good one. We're really excited about this.
This is really exciting because we approached them over a lot of people really like the Adventurers hoodies we previewed and were asking about discount codes, and when I reached out to Blizzard, they said that, you know, you guys, like so many of you use Wowhead discount codes, that they wanted to basically give Wowhead a different discount code each month that would do something special. So through February 29th, it's 15% off all WoW merchandise, which, you know, that is pretty good. You know, for the holidays, it was 10% off of everything, and, you know, so much of the merchandise does count as WoW merch. So, yeah, we're really excited about this, and each month it should be something fun. Like, one idea was maybe if you spend over a certain amount, you get like 50% off Pepe, free shipping, things like that.
Yeah.
And
that's code
we're really excited.
It's also nice because they activated the code now. So if you want to go buy something like over the weekend, you don't have to wait until February 1st. It's active as of right now.
Yeah, they set it up early for us specifically for the show. So yeah, we are really appreciative of that. And yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Like, you know, we both like collecting stuff and wearing merchandise, and it's cool that so many people on Wowhead enjoy watching us talk about it on the show and really get excited about the merch for giveaways and use the discount code to the point where they want us to, you know, pretty much always have a discount code.
Yeah, that's super nice of them to do, and we appreciate it. And it's funny because I've used the code that we've gotten for Jinx once and from the Blizzard store once.
See? Yeah.
Like, I'm using our discount codes.
A lot of my friends, you know, that, like, play by, they're like, oh, I want to buy a Pepe for my girlfriend. She thinks it's cute. And I'm like, they're like, oh, like, how much is Pepe? And I'm like, oh, we have a discount soon. And they're like, you know, they make a joke like, oh, Pepe's cute. Do you have a discount? I'm like, actually.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
We
so
do
Pepe,
have a discount.
What I said at the start of the show, how Pepe was excited about the news, Pepe is 15% off with this code.
Pepe is the best plush.
I know.
He's so cute. I love the pictures that you sent. Like, your family all have Pepes, and then they send you pictures of their Pepes doing different things. Like, you've
that
corrupted
was amazing.
them.
I sent my family two Pepes because over the holidays my aunt really liked Pepe and was taking selfies with him, and my mom also liked Pepe, and she's like, you need Pepe merchandise for like baby showers.
Oh
and,
my
like,
god, Perk's mom was so
Pepe.
funny. Like, she was really upset by how violent the Legion stuff looked. And she was
Yes.
like, can't it all just be Pepe? I don't understand. Like, your mother was genuinely offended by how, like, lava and molten and violent
Yeah.
and fell. And she's like, everything should just be Pepe. Like,
Yeah. So I sent my family two Pepe so she could give them to my aunt, but I don't know if my aunt's getting the Pepe now because
great.
like, she's like, I can tell them apart and I give them different nicknames.
Oh my
and
god.
so I have to like buy a third Pepe for my aunt.
Well, at least
now.
you get 15%. That's hilarious that your mom has now like, she has her own Pepe and she's still stolen an additional Pepe. You should get a second Pepe that you, like, put a little hair bow on and Pepe can have a girlfriend.
I should do that for like Love is in the Air Valentine's Day.
Oh,
maybe
yeah!
maybe on my Twitter for Valentine's Day I can be like, Pepe has a friend.
Cute. I agree. I really hope that they put Pepe in Legion. It's going to be super
I
disappointing
know.
if he's tied to Garrisons forever.
He has his little data mining hat on and he never finds a Pepe in the NPC list. He is very sad.
I'm surprised we haven't found anything yet. Like, I could think of so many places that he could go. Like, just have him hang out in Dalaran. There's got to be somewhere, like a little shop.
There has to be a tree.
There has to be a tree or something. Like, I don't know. Put a tree in.
I know. Just like put it like, just put him somewhere. I don't know, the memorial. He can sit on the
It would be
Archmage's
super
hand.
cute if he sat on, like, the sign, like the little post outside of the
like on the inn.
where the
That would
pet
be-
store, where the pets are,
Yeah.
where, like, that would be
Yeah.
really cute. But, like, I'm gonna start a change.org petition if they don't do something about this. Like, I've never cared so deeply for a bird in my life. So that about wraps up all the things we had to talk about today. I truly apologize for all the technical issues. Next week I'll have this camera thing dealt with. I really think it's just the update with XSplit. I really think that's the problem. And I'll also make a spoiler tag. I promise. I know I said that last week, but this week I really mean it. Listen, to be fair, at any point, Perk, did you say, Danielle, did you make the spoiler tag? No, you did not.
I had spills and stuff.
Listen,
and
I
we
was
were chopping down a tree outside.
I know. I'm so sorry about your plants. That's super sad. That's so rude.
Pepe's tree is gone. I'm really upset.
I would know. You have every right to be upset. But yeah, so we just had like a really busy week. I'm sorry. So I will make sure I make a spoiler tag and I don't know what's going on with the camera. It's not broken, and it's not the USB port. I really do think it's a software issue, but I'll deal with it. So thank you for dealing with all of our technical difficulties. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much. We got 2 new subscribers today. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. I think we're now like maybe 3 subscribers from getting a new emote, so that's exciting.
Yep. Pepe is excited about emotes.
So cute.
He likes things that make people happy.
Yeah, so we will have a new emote soon, which is very exciting. So thank you to everybody who subscribes and follows us on Twitch, subscribes to our YouTube channel, follows us there, watches our videos. Thank you to all of the Wowhead Premium subscribers. Of course, Wowhead Premium is a service which, among other things, removes all of the ads from wowhead.com. It directly supports the website, and it also will give you a lot of cool features like a special color when you're talking on in the comment section. It'll allow you to customize Today in Draenor, as well as your sidebar, track quests, stuff like that. So thank you to everybody who does that. We really appreciate it. We will be back next Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, same bat time, same bat channel, with more WoW goodness to talk about. Thanks to all of you guys who tuned in today. We had about 200 viewers. There's another subscriber. Thank you so much, Shinso91. We appreciate it. And so we're going to go. Thank you so much again, guys. We'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye. Bye.